DJ Leroy.
Hey, Night Watchman. How you doing, buddy?
I'm well, man. How about yourself?
Good, good. Night Watchman, are you in the festive mood?
Absolutely.
Well, in that case, you're talking about your wife, Marie. She's going to be receiving a gift, maybe some jewelry.
Perhaps.
Okay. Well, what about all things jewelry?
All things jewelry are great. We have some artisans and craftspersons.
Now you're really trying to just be CP. I know this, right?
I'm always correct, not just politically correct.
Gotcha. Well, on that case, we're gonna wonder this one brother, whatever, why we call him Brother Slavery. Bring him up. Come on, let's go.
Sunrise. Wow. Welcome. How y'all doing?
Welcome to SolArtsNYC Prime Time.
How you doing, man?
I'm fantastic. Outstanding. Thank you so much, brother DJ Leroy, and of course, Night Watchman, for having me on the show. I'm very surprised to be here. I'm grateful to be here. I'm just so grateful for Harlem and the community out there. And I just want to say thank you. Thank you.
I understand that you like Harlem because, we have a number of those pop-up, markets that happen.
Absolutely.
But you've left us for a warmer environment.
I got out of town. I left on Sunday, just after the holiday market with the Schomburg on Friday and Saturday. Mm-hmm. I went back to a normal pop-up outdoors, doing my little artistic expression. And I said, whoa, the wind chill was like 15 and it was like 17 degrees. I said, I'm getting out of here. I was on the first thing smoking in the following morning. So I'm in South Carolina right now.
Wow.
I am in Georgetown, South Carolina. My people are from King Street, South Carolina. And listen, I had myself a ball, went and got me some cotton out of the field right there in Neesmith, Gullah Geechee area. We down here.
Beautiful.
For somebody whose name is Slavery, you seem awfully free to me.
Yeah,
very free.
Up and go. I'm out of here. It's too cold. I'm on the first plane smoking.
Yes.
No, straight up. The freedom to just go back and forth to the south and the north. The north freedom was also a frightening thing. I was reading about last night in this book. My folks don't want me to talk about slavery. And even on the synopsis back here, we were mentioning freedom was terrifying too, because we didn't know what to do with that. And so bondage, were both seen as terrifying. And I was like, whoa, just in the synopsis. So
the slavery, we have to expand on that in a moment. Okay.
Oh, beautiful.
But one of the things I would definitely say is that, a Night Watchman, two of my mentors, one of them I no longer have. That, of course, is Lloyd Williams, right?
Oh, wow.
But the other one that I still have, and I love him dearly, is Mr. Vosa Rivers. But you know that Vosa has been on SolArtsNYC Prime Time multiple times.
He's probably our number one guest, I would say.
Absolutely. But who's never been on our show? His daughter, Nerissa.
Until now.
Nerissa, how are you, my dear? Welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Now, I've known about your jewelry journey for a while.
Yes.
As a matter of fact, I think I had some of your original pieces way back when.
Way back when, yes. I mean, I used to be at Straight Outta Harlem. I think that's where you and I met.
Wow.
I went through New Heritage, but I think it was at Straight Outta Harlem. So yeah, we go back. Yeah.
Well, always great seeing you. This.
As well. The feeling is always mutual.
Now, of course, I did say, Night Watchman, that there's somebody I know who can pivot on a dime. I did tell you that, right?
Yes.
Okay, that could only be Shimoda. Yay!
All in the family. All in the family.
Shimoda, how are you? Yeah.
Looks like a Harlem Arts Alliance meeting.
So glad to be here.
Night Watchman, that was
Well, listen, big up Harlem Arts Alliance. As of the airing of this show, we should tell you that they're having a meeting on December 19th. And so if you are an artist or even have artist leaning, you're artist curious, you should come to the Harlem Arts Alliance.
Wow, I see Night Watchman. You got the memo. I like this. Okay, very good.
Very good. Yeah, nice.
So Night Watchman, sometimes, you know, when you are ghosted in real time, it doesn't mean that that you, in the totality, you've been ghosted. It doesn't mean that. Okay. Sometimes they can surprise you like a ghost and show up. Can you say Misha McGlown?
Did you call Ghostbusters?
Hello, Misha, how are you?
Good. How are you doing? Thank you for having me.
You know you're always welcome. Always welcome. Okay. But I did tell you that there is someone here that I've embraced as my go-to, just so you know. But it's all right. No matter. Like Watchman, I'm going to go to the next, and let's see what we got here now. I first noticed this gentleman in the company of a woman that I've known for a long time since I worked for her. Then it was Ruth Clark, way back when.
Oh my God! Wow.
Yes, I'm going back, and this was with Lou Willard. It could only be Gary Jones. Bring him out. Gary.
Hey, how you guys doing? How's everybody this morning?
Good.
Pretty good.
Yes, indeed, my brother. So you know what? Let's get it popping. Let's start. Okay. Oh, yes, we're going to talk about that. So let's start out with you, brother Slavery. I want you to tell me and expand in terms of your journey in jewelry, what calls you, and especially also the medium, cotton. Tell us, brother Slavery.
Oh, wow. So it's a long one. I'm trying to make it short. But when I was 5 years old, my dad came home from South Carolina to Florida, where we were raised, my siblings and I, and he planted a cotton plant from seeds in this cotton bowl, and he told us to know our history. And so we watched the cotton plant grow, and then I basically saw the whole plant. It looked like something from Walmart, and I thought it was beautiful. And so I didn't have the same stigma as most of my peers growing up around cotton and talking about it in school. And then, you know, went into performing arts because that's my background. That came naturally. And then COVID hit right after doing a show in Massachusetts, Top Dog Underdog. And I went home to Florida and started planting cotton again. This time I was planting it in multiple colors, and I was growing the plants, ended up taking the plants to the swap shop right there off Sunrise, and they sold out. Like, people were like buying the plants, and I thought I was just out there to take cotton to the public and take cotton plants and seeds and all that and grow it. But they had interest, and then I just started. The people kept asking me what was I going to do, what they were going to do with the cotton, and I kept trying to figure out, well, what are we going to do? I don't really know. And I just started. I had friends that made jewelry, crystals, and rings and all that stuff, and so I adopted that same concept and started copper wire wrapping cotton itself. So like what you see here, the earrings and all that stuff, that's cotton. This is all cotton seeds, cotton jewelry, nose rings, all cotton seeds. And so it's grown over time. You know, I was down there for like 3 to 4 years at farmers markets and special events at the African American Research Library and all of that. And then decided to go travel abroad to Paris, London, Rome, Germany, Scotland, Morocco with the cotton, and basically was a nomadic artist traveling the world and surviving and meeting so many people. It was an adventure. And then ended up coming back to South Carolina, Georgetown, and then going to New York. So that's where it's ended up in the past 5-6 years, pretty much.
Beautiful. Thank you for that, brother Slavery. And
thank you.
Nerissa, on to you now. Tell us, because I did have, of course, medals in his work, right? Tell us about you, because I also know you have medals as well.
Yes, well, I started back in 2006. I attended FIT, and I was in fashion merchandising. Really loved it a lot, and was getting some concepts on how to have your business, and trying to look for an outlet for creativity. And I said, well, it's definitely not on canvas, that's for sure, because I can't even do a little etching on anything. It's terrible. But where I did find that I could be my creative self was just by creating. So it actually started. I worked in jewelry a little bit, and I know that my dear aunt, my maternal aunt, she was a really big collector, and from a little girl, I just was, just enamored with the stories that she would tell about the pieces and where she would get her jewelry from, and that captured me, and we built such a close relationship on that. So for me, it wasn't just about the jewelry and adorning your body, but the story behind it and how it was a sense of community, bringing people together. So I was not formally trained. I just was looking for a creative outlet, and it brought me so much peace. And that's been how it started. My sister said, "Hey, you've made all these pieces. What the heck are you going to do with it? You should have a jewelry party." And I said, I'm not going to do. She said, "Just do it." And the first event that I had, we had about 25, 30 people. And people, they aged the age started at maybe 7 years old to about 90.
Wow. Wow.
And it was all women coming together, and it was the most amazing event. And I couldn't believe, and everybody was just, they were speaking and trying on and talking to each other, and we had a fantastic time. And that was the seed, and that's how this thing grew. And that's what it is for me. It has saved me time and time again, having a creative outlet, incorporating gemstones. I've always loved stones as a child, and their energy, they're millions of years old. And so when you have jewelry with stones that are millions of years old, I mean, this is earth energy, grounding energy, minerals and things that have been around and can tell you stories. So that's what the jewelry is about. What story, and how do you ground yourself? And also about community. How are you a part of community? What are you contributing to this world? And that's how it all started. So I'm honored to be going. Sometimes I'm like, oh man, it's been like 20 years. I can't even believe it. But artisans like Shimoda, definitely an inspiration. Charlotte Sutton, another huge inspiration for me. I bow down to them. They are wonderful, wonderful, beautiful creatives that I am inspired and honored to be following in their footsteps. So
beautiful. Thank you for that. Well, I heard your name, Shimoda.
Yes.
Do tell, you've been an inspiration here, Shimoda. So tell us, Shimoda, your journey. Can you hear us?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, we can now. Yes. So tell us your journey, Shimoda.
Okay, so my journey. I really originally was looking to be a jazz musician. In high school, I was studying the flute, and I would go to Jazzmobiles on Saturdays. Even though I was a Queens girl, I would and go to Jazzmobile classes. So flute was my jam, and jazz was my jam. And one time when I was working at Barnes & Noble on 18th Street and Fifth Avenue, I was going home, and a voice said, "You want to learn how to make jewelry?" And I was like, okay, because sometimes I do hear a voice. And the next day going to work, I ran into a girlfriend of mine and asked her, I want to learn how to make jewelry. Where do I go? And she says, "Oh, I'm looking for an apprentice. I'll teach you." And that's how it started. And then I was still doing music. I was going to, I was in the orchestra, the Henry Street Orchestra, still doing the jazz, still working, and doing shows on the weekend. And by that time, I left Barnes & Noble, and then I was working in a jail. I was working at Rikers Island, but I was in the office. So I was just doing all of that, trying to do all of that. And it was just a bit much. So I stopped the flute, and just focused on the jewelry, and eventually left the job and just was doing the jewelry first time, full time. And I love working with bees. I love working with the stones like Nerissa, and I'm very just inspired, and people tell me that it brings them joy and healing. They feel some healing energy from it. And I'm using stones, so, and colors. I love bright colors, like my earrings are very bright colors.
Yes, they are. Very nice.
One, my girlfriend at one time, she was repping and she was saying, she took it to a museum, and they said, "Why is this jewelry look too happy?" It's like, why is that a problem? But yeah, but I'm very happy when I make it too.
Shimoda, can you tell us a little bit about that leap when you decided to go full time in the jewelry, and how did you come to that decision and to just jump in the water?
Oh, leaving the job?
Yes.
It was hard. It took a couple of years. I would be in contact with my cousin, who is also an artist. And I would say, I want to leave a job because that was in my element, being in the prison population. And so what I would do is anytime I got paid, I would, save money, supplies that I know I would need if I do decide to leave. So I prepare myself, even though I was very fearful, and it took a couple of years for me to actually leave.
Well, that's very, very good. So, Misha, you're up. I think I first was exposed to you when you had a materials and also jewelry over at the Studio Museum. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, so do tell us your journey, because I know you also in painting and that type of interpretation, but do tell.
Yes. Well, hi everybody. Hi Shimoda, Nerissa, Slavery. I have to get used to saying that name. But Shimoda, yeah, your jewelry is happy. You're right. I never really thought about it, but it does. It just, the look and feel of it, everything. It's very joyful. And Shimoda and I have done a lot of projects together over the years. I'm very happy to see you.
Oh, very nice.
But yeah, so I started out everything that I'm doing in the arts really kind of emanated from jewelry. Jewelry was my first professional art form. And I started in, when I realized it was really actually the very late 80s into the early 90s. And what's so interesting and terrible is I was, like many of us, I'm going to go off the rails a little bit. I watched the P. Diddy documentary.
And well, which one now? There are multiple ones out there, but just
the one.
Okay.
The one that's on Netflix now that 50 Cent produced. Have you all seen it? We're not going to talk about it, but no. But it made me remember the first time I encountered then Puffy Combs, and that was on a video shoot for Stacey Lattisaw, and he was a dancer and choreographer, and I had done the jewelry. And they, just as I was thinking, like, wow, that was such a long time ago, it showed up in the documentary. They showed some scenes from the video, citing that as really the start of his career in hip hop. So that was really the first big project that he did, and I actually did the jewelry on that video shoot. So
congrats!
Wow. Yeah, that was a long time ago. So that's when I started. And I think for all of us, it sounds like jewelry kind of comes to you. It chooses you. Like there are people who say, yeah, I want to make some jewelry. But for the most part, it comes to you. It just kind of walks into your life and attaches itself to you. And it really does bring people together. And it's sort of recession proof also. So yeah, I started out, I was just with some friends who went to Pratt Institute, who were learning to work with different mediums, and started initially making jewelry out of clay. And I made something, wore it on the train. I wasn't thinking I was going to become a jewelry designer, but wore it on the train. Somebody gave me some money to make them a set. And that was it. The light bulb went off. Like, wait a minute, what? People give me money for this? So that's really how it started. I kind of built that into a business, started selling to stores. Nordstrom was one of my clients. I did a lot of work with Macy's, a store called Cache. I had within 12 stores across the country. And Essence, did a lot of work with Essence over the years, and worked independently with design companies. I worked with Liz Claiborne design team for 2 years. And Shimoda and I even worked together on a special project for Ralph Lauren a long time ago, in the 90s, early 2000s, maybe. And ultimately decided I didn't want to stay on that path, trying to manufacture and put out orders. I was working with showrooms in Detroit, Chicago, and in New York, and I started to lose control over the production schedule, because this was all handmade. So I couldn't tell them, they want to make money, so I couldn't tell them I don't want any more orders this month. So I decided to stop manufacturing and really just create the jewelry as art. And then I just started doing seasonal art shows, showing the jewelry in people's homes and galleries. But also, I had been working with the Studio Museum since the beginning. So the jewelry has been in the Studio Museum since about 1990. We have not reconnected, however, since they reopened. Yeah.
So that is still then a work in progress, correct?
Excuse me?
That is a work in progress.
Yeah, I mean, the personnel changed during the time they were closed. So we're in the process of getting reacquainted.
Okay.
So yeah, that's where things are.
Beautiful. Thank you for that. And Gary, do tell. Yes, your journey, and also you are in a space where you don't see a lot of African American representation.
Right. First of all, I'm business development, and I was involved in many different industries and collaborated with some a lot of different companies in a lot of different spaces. But maybe about 5 years ago, I had the opportunity to meet Lou Willett. She's 86 years old, and I was in New York. I'm originally from New York. I'm in Maryland. I was up in New York taking my older brother out for his birthday. And so she was talking to him on the phone in the car. And then he just actually put me on the phone. And so once I found out that she was the jeweler to the stars, the Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston's, Aretha Franklin's, Sammy Davis Jr., Temptations, all of them, the wheels started turning. And so originally I told her that I'm in Maryland and I can go ahead and put some, bring it out of retirement. So she started laughing. She thought I was joking. But then a few months later, we reconnected. And then we started to do some custom made pieces down there in Atlanta, Georgia. I was in Morehouse, and I had a tutor at Spelman in math. And so she has a son. He's a YouTuber, has about 1 million followers. And so we went down there and did some design work for he and his crew. And so then the opportunity had come up a couple months after that, for us to do commemorative jewelry. So that's how we began on this journey to establish a business. Yeah, it's the concept is like Pandora. You purchase a bracelet, but then you fill it with charms. Our charms represent Black historical events. So we deal with large Black organizations. Of course, we do fine jewelry, but what the companies are doing, these entities are doing, they hiring us to help them with their fundraising efforts instead of doing the Joe Corby's pizza, candy, and all that kind of stuff. Hiring us to help them with their fundraising efforts through jewelry. And so we just launched a nationwide campaign. Atlanta, Georgia, they put on the largest Juneteenth event in the nation. And so we just launched a Juneteenth jewelry design competition nationwide. Submit drawings from October the 1st through January 20th. I'm doing that tonight on Black History Month. February the 1st, we're going to scale it down to 10. We'll be in Apex Museum. We signed a collaborative agreement with them. They're going to host several of our events. And so February 1st, Black History Month, we'll announce 10 finalists. Next couple of weeks, we're sending it out to social media. They'll scale it down to 3. We'll be back in Atlanta at the museum, Apex Museum, to announce the grand prize winner. We're sending the grand prize winner to all expense paid trip to Ghana for 2. And so now that's on the jewelry side of the business. It's a 6-month marketing campaign with that. So I don't want to bore you with that because there's some other things connected with that campaign. So secondly, I'm involved in, we just got involved in the last 16 months in the gold commodity space. We're connected with the Diamond District in New York City. We have high profile, well established gold purchasers. And so we flew down to Ghana last January to establish our own business where we want to be able to create a gold commodity pipeline directly to our buyers in the Diamond District. These buyers, they purchase millions and millions of dollars of gold gold bars every day. And so I told Miss Lou, listen, since we're in this space and we're very well connected, what we need to do, we need to establish our own gold commodity pipeline. And so that's what we're doing right now. So we're hoping to close one of these deals. We need to raise some money to go back and start making those purchases and create that pipeline. But so we're in the middle of that right now. So we're very much excited about it. We're in industries, like you said, where unfortunately many of us aren't in. And so that's good for me because I don't like to do what everybody else is doing.
Very good. And Gary, if I'm not mistaken, of course, one of the first times I saw you with Lou, that was at a meeting of the Harlem Arts Alliance. But I also did see you, I believe, if not, at the visit from this delegation from Ghana for that was the Harlem Tourism Board. Is that correct?
Yes. So we went with Tony Rogers down there in January. And the reason for that, like I said earlier, was to establish our own business, to be able to purchase our own gold and have it shipped to New York. But unfortunately, we were in the middle of the process. We hired an attorney. He had dual citizenship. He can service and through Georgia as well, Atlanta, Georgia. So he had dual citizenship. And so unfortunately, the new administration had come in and they shut everything down. Everybody who had a license was no more. Everybody who was in the middle of the process of obtaining and procuring a license, that we stopped everything. So we spent tens of thousands of dollars and we lost it. And but you know, one door closes, another door opens up. So so we transitioned to Sierra Leone, and then we moved back down there to Ghana because now I have special relationships with the new government. They had to come in and they instituted a new department called Gold Bar.
And as you said, Gary, you're still standing. That's the important thing for sure. And Night Watchman, what do you got? We did our first pass. So what you got for folks, man? Talk to me.
Well, I'm just I'm just taking in how this conversation has spread. So it has a global reach now, and we're talking about African trade and and gold. And so I'm really, really interested in what
now,
Gary's
one of the things that also caught my attention is that we talk about somebody using a medium, let's say, of cotton, and then he traveled, of course, to Europe, where they don't necessarily have that same history that we have here in the States. So, brother slavery, how were you received there in Europe, man?
Surprisingly, it was amazing. Like, I couldn't believe I was there for 90 days, 90 nights. Just full disclosure, I'm a very bold, radical artist, like activist in a way. And I kind of have to go back a little bit and go back to the name and spiritual as well with the Gullah Geechee. So slavery was not a choice. Just so y'all know, like the name was not a choice.
I thought Kanye said it was a choice. Anyway, go ahead.
Slavery was not a choice. And so, you know, I was in Florida for a while. That's where I was born and raised. And I had the business with the slogan that says slavery is one thing, cotton is another. The cotton is innocent. And I had my jewelry, the plants and everything out there, reclaiming cotton, teaching kids and all that beautiful stuff. And then I, started making cotton a bit more commercial. Went to Lauderdale by the Sea. Oh, dropped the name, but it's all good. I went to an affluent neighborhood, if you will. And we were down there with the pop-ups, and they saw this beautiful slogan that said, slavery is one thing, cotton is another, the cotton is innocent. And I was approached and told to remove everything that says slavery on it.
Whoa.
Being in Florida, because feelings were getting unraveled,
Oh, wow.
And so I said, oh, wow, I already done filed that trademark. I just got the registration. I'm proud. And then now I got to file another trademark as slavery, the artist and educator and so on, just to protect the original slogan, which is trademark. So that's why the name has become slavery. The crows showed up. It got very biblical because the crows always show up for me. At least it feels God sends crows to kind of send me a message. And I was like, okay, I'm on a whole new journey now. And that's to protect and teach about history in its proper context. That's why the name has become slavery, but it was not a choice. I was very well content being my father's given name, my birth name. So that's why that happened. So going overseas also got impatient and a little tiresome of like all the pushback I was getting from Florida in the educational school system, trying to teach children about cotton and so on. And so I just packed up and left because I was there prior doing a one-man show in Scotland at the Edinburgh Festival Fringe. Did a show there, came back to the States, realized I was completely done, took off, went overseas to London, stayed with friends for 90 days. Then I left London, went to Paris, and basically slept on the buses and trains as a nomadic artist, like legit. Like there's always been this soldier in me that wanted to go to the army, but I got a little bit of a disability in my right eye from birth, so I couldn't quite make that. And so I'm built to kind of go do things like that. That was kind of my initiation. And the people loved the cotton jewelry. It was amazing. The Afro-Parisian people was so shocking. Were coming up to me and crying and talking about, this is what our ancestors picked. This is what we were doing. And it was the word we and that they were using that was so surprising to me because I was ignorant to realize that the cotton picking history, just like our ancestors harvesting cotton, resonated with African peoples and Parisian peoples overseas. I didn't realize it was international trauma. And I was like, whoa, to see people crying and buying jewelry. It was one woman, she bought a jewelry necklace that I spun out of cotton. And she said, I want to wear this because this country is so racist. And I want to wear this to remind me of my people and what we have been through. I said, how does that was so, it was shocking that that resonated in Paris with a sister who was from Cameroon, who lived in Paris, and that she felt it represented. So at that point, I was like, in tears most of the time, just realizing like, wow, just proud that I made it and was surviving and teaching. The community supported. It didn't matter how I showed up. The community showed up, supported. I was able to take showers and do all of this stuff because they had those facilities open for college students right at Pompidou. So it's a lot more easier. Artists are far more accepted, I feel, overseas. They're far more open to artists overseas than I would say the States by and large, but like it was incredible. I was very surprised that the cotton history resonated. So
beautiful. So Night Watchman, can we almost say like James Baldwin, the prodigal son has returned?
Yeah, and then
I
he
love
left.
that guy.
And then he left for South Carolina.
Just for a spell. Just for a
Prodigal
spell.
son keeps moving, you know.
Night Watchman. Okay, shots fired, as we said. Yes,
It wasn't a shot fire. It was just an observation.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
I'm
we're
gonna send y'all some warm weather, just a little bit.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nerissa, do tell us your travels, and let's say, and especially because I know you also have roots in the other island, Puerto Rico. So yes.
Well, I mean, it's funny. In 2013, about 2013, I was in a car accident.
Ooh, yep.
And it kind of changed the trajectory of things for about 10 years for me. So it really did. I couldn't even, I had some back injuries and things like that, and it kept me home.
Wow.
And I couldn't really travel nor walk. So it's about 10 years for me. And I had to get very creative with things. How do you still create, but also, you have this, physical limitation.
Yes.
And so I started, and I also wanted to heal myself, right? So how do you get better? How do you get back? One of the things I started to do was I started to host like healing luncheons, and hosting events where people would come, because I couldn't get to them and I couldn't travel like I used to, but I would try and bring people in. So that's how we did it. But also I had to get better, right? Because you want to do what you do, but now how do you figure out you want to be the best version of yourself, right? I can't tell somebody about quartz crystal or rose quartz crystal, and I'm not smiling, right? So I had to tap into other forms of healing energy, which was like Reiki energy, meditation, acupuncture, all those types of things were really helping me get through. So now I had to pivot, and I wasn't able to carry the jewelry with me as much. So I brought the people in, and then I also decided to carry other items and open up my assortment of things that I sell to other female creatives.
Gotcha.
That I have found their products to be really wonderful, handmade products. So we expanded the business from just jewelry to also offering some soft goods, some accessories and things like that, made that will uplift your spirit and inspire you. So all kind of spiritual healing, just good for you products, whether it's, a skin oil or, just to nurture your skin and for all of us to be the best versions of ourselves. So that's kind of how it changed. And yes, my mother is Puerto Rican. My father is African American. It's a good, beautiful mix. And there's so much in that, right? In our story, in our history, and how we present ourselves, and how do we meet challenges, and still rise up in the greatness. I mean, it's an absolute miracle that we're all here.
Yes, very true.
We're standing on the shoulders. Our ancestors. So there is no time to cry. There is no time to get back in the bed. How do you rise up? How do you represent your culture? How do we help our community again? What are we giving back? So, a portion of the sales go to nonprofits.
Oh.
I do a child.
I didn't even know that, Nerissa.
Yeah, Child and Life program at Mount Sinai Hospital. I currently been there and have been giving back to that hospital for children and families to get the care that they need. So that's a portion of what we do. And it's not about the travel, again, limitations on that. But yes, I've been to tons of shows all over. I love the Gemstones. I love community, meeting with one another. I've been all over and I grab from here and I grab from there. The items that I sell are curated. with healing energy. I used to do Reiki energy. I'm level 3 certified Reiki energy, which is a healing energy. It's, just to bring that energy. But I don't do it on people any longer. I do it on the gemstones. Clear the gemstones. I clear the energy on the jewelry. So when people come, like Shimoda mentioned, people say, I don't know. I have this, this necklace or these earrings or these bracelets, and I feel better, and I don't understand what it is. And I have so many testimonials over the years of people being able to change their life with just being able to wear jewelry that is curated and selected for them based on whatever ails them or whatever they're trying to move that energy for themselves. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Right.
Yeah, all good stuff. All good stuff.
Well, Shimoda, so do tell, because your name is evoked a number of times, as we know, and you got to tell us about your travels around, in and around, because I currently know that you are not in New York. Is that correct?
Yeah, I'm in New York. Or are you saying where I'm from? I'm from.
No, so somebody told me that you were traveling. But okay, well, hello, sister. Yes. So do tell us about your journey around. Now, have you gone overseas or out of the country with your wares, or what?
I was mostly the state, but I have gone to St. Troy to do a show. But mostly in the show would do the SS Music Festival, the Queens Jazz Festival, the film festival in LA. So I did do a lot of traveling. That was fabulous, phenomenal. But then I got burnt out. And because it's a lot of work, people think oh, this is great. You're over. You do a lot of traveling, and it is great. But then the schlepping, the packing, the shipping, and doing all of that, it took a toll on me. And I at one point had to stop doing any jewelry. And then when I stopped doing jewelry, my customers were mad at me, and so that was I come back out when it was time. But then I started doing events with Laura Gatson, who is a phenomenal artist, quilter.
Yes.
Wow.
And it was just so great that I met her, and she lives right down the block. And we would do events. We call ourselves Aesthetic, and we did a lot of events in Brownstone with other artists. So that was really fabulous, because we did that for about 7 years or more, and people to know other artists that we brought in. So that was wonderful. So that's something that I'm still doing now. We had right before the pandemic, and so now we're back to doing other shows, which is one that's coming up on the 20th, 21st of December.
That's right. This is the time for sure. And of course now, Misha McGlown, of course, you can't be you without, of course, can we say Detroit, Motor City?
Well, I am a Detroit to Harlem girl. Detroit to Harlem, Harlem to Detroit.
Wow.
As far as the jewelry, I haven't traveled so much with the jewelry. My jewelry practice was pretty much stationary, but it went out to different places across the country. And I did have a client in Japan, but I haven't been there yet, but I'm looking forward to going to Japan. As you know, one of my favorite people, Tomo Mori, and my goddaughter are from Japan, and so I'm looking forward to visiting hopefully soon one day with them. But I have had other travels in the arts, including recently going to Paris as part of a traveling exhibition that I co-curated for Detroit artists, a James Baldwin exhibition. Sabrina Nelson was the artist, and we did travel to Paris, and several other locations within the United States, and I've had the opportunity to travel to Nigeria, to London, to Budapest, of course, the islands, a couple of the islands, and I can't think, but I've been a few places. Not so much with the jewelry though. I've been fortunate again to have an art practice. The jewelry has sparked my entire art practice, which has taken me around the world, and of course here to Detroit, to Irwin House Gallery, Detroit.
What would you say? Because I just heard, of course, Shimoda talking about the whole thing in terms of, some stuff happening during this holiday season. Has that also, let's say, stepped up your participation in getting your product out there?
Me?
Mm-hmm.
Not this year. Not this year.
Okay.
Yeah, but again, I'm looking forward to reconnecting with the Studio Museum. For the past few years, I would say definitely for the past 5 or 6 years. Well, before that, because we've been closed for 5 or 6 years. But for the past few years before that, the studio was my primary outlet.
Gotcha. Okay. So Gary,
Yes.
in terms of, say, back and forth, of course, New York to Maryland, do tell me, what opportunities have you been doing? And of course, I've heard the travels to Africa. Any other countries there that you're looking at?
Well, since it's Black History, right? We just right now just going to concentrate on in the United States. Especially because we hired a publicist to launch the 6-month design competition, and so we're very excited about that. So right now we are going to stay in the United States for for right now, because that's where our market is. And then we graduated to the gold bullion business, and that's in the Diamond District in New York City. So, so we're in the middle of trying to close some deals now. So once we do that, we'll be back in Atlanta probably next year, because what we're going to do, we're going to launch a mini Shark Tank in Atlanta, because we're going to take some of our funds. But at least a certain percentage of our funds go back to the HBCUs. But what we're going to do, we're going to launch a mini Shark Tank in Atlanta, Georgia, with Apex Museum, and so we'll probably spend hopefully we can put together $1 million and give away $100,000 each to 10 business people who maybe don't have the wherewithal to open up their own business, might have some ideas, don't know how to get started. So we're going to launch that, because our thing is about giving back. So we're going to concentrate here in the United States first.
Beautiful. And Gary, so do tell me, in terms of, we're talking about literally like a pitch competition, is that correct?
Yeah, right. Yeah, absolutely. And we're going to try to base it off of Shark Tank. Okay. And so it's not just the pitch. If we see something that's viable with these 10 prospective winners, then if we can collaborate with them in any kind of way and help invest in what they're doing, then maybe work out a partnership as well. So it's going to be the pitch, plus we're going to see if we can invest in what they're doing as well. So hopefully we can close one of these gold deals, not on the jewelry side, but it has to be through the gold bullion side, because that's where we can raise millions of dollars.
Gotcha. And Night Watchman, I do remember, I believe it was when I was watching, of course, the Rocky series, right? I remember there was somebody who you kind of idolized, because he used to have the gold chains and all that stuff. I believe it was Mr. T. It seems as if you've given that up, huh?
Are you trying to fire shots? Is that all you got? Really? That was your best. Come on, I'm not even going to respond to that. Okay, let's bring it back to what we're really talking about here. So I've been really impressed by just the fact that jewelry is maybe the most intimate of art forms,
Yes.
because it's unlike a painting which you hang up on your wall or you put in your foyer. Yeah, people actually have to connect with it, feel like they want to wear it.
Yep.
Talked about the energy transfer, whether you're talking about the stones, minerals, the metals, and how people connect to the energy and even get healing benefits from it. So I just wanted to just kind of hear each of you just kind of talk about that aspect of the just the personal nature of how you create something, and then you have somebody who connects with it on such a really one-to-one level.
Who you want to tell? You want to start with Brother Slavery?
I'm here.
All right, go ahead, Brother Slavery.
Oh man, this is such a big question, and I'm just so grateful to be here with you all. I have to say, because like y'all some OGs with creating jewelry and just like being around. So like, I'm really trying to take it all in. But one of the things I say with the cotton, and I'm deseeding cotton as we do this interview, is that it is confrontational healing, the raw cotton aspect of it, just like having somebody in exposure therapy, if you will. So like when people pull up and see the cotton, there's a lot of emotion come up. There's a lot of confrontation. And I often ask them, are you seeing the cotton, or are you seeing your ancestors that were in the field harvesting this cotton? Because sometimes there's a projection and that they don't quite realize. And sometimes, you know, I didn't even realize it's that protection comes in, wanting to protect the ancestors and what they've been through in order to feel safe. And so I find, you know, I converse to say basically you're wearing the cotton, you're sleeping on the cotton, money's made of 75% cotton, 25% linen, you're spending it, you know, you're walking around with all these clothing, you know, you don't quite know where it's from. You know, you have no real relationship with the person who has made that. The majority of people don't. Yeah. And so and our ancestors knew how to do everything, you know, spin clothing, spin cloth, weave, you know, cook. Everything was done by hand. And in many cases, you didn't even have to leave home to kind of go shop to get something. It was made in the quilting room, clothing, like blankets and everything. So I give people that raw cotton exposure therapy. And I have to say, like 75% of the people that cry when they see cotton have been the men, and 25% have been the women when it comes to seeing raw cotton. And for me, you know, if the man represents the foundation and the woman represents the heart, and we're looking at all these men that are crying, you know, and it's very private and safe space most times when they come up and they're crying like this, it has a lot to say about the foundation of who we are and how so much healing we have to address within our community, because the tears are real and the feeling is real that come up, and you know, with this cotton. So confrontational healing is a big one when it comes to exposing the community to it. So I'm just giving them pieces, wearable art, and to take a thorn like this that has caused so much trauma and so much pain and turn it into an earring. Like I have so many golden Black women chase me down in Harlem asking, where did I get this earring from? If only they knew I went to the cotton field to get it. I mean, that goes to show like there's so much that can be done there. There's so much exposure therapy. So most certainly.
Nerissa, talking about the whole healing, the Reiki, all of that. So
yes.
Tell us.
Well, I'm at the Theosophical Society of New York, and I've been there for about 16 years now. And just being in that space where, again, energy healing is going on has just been a huge honor. And my brother passed a few years ago, and after he passed, I kept seeing rabbits. You know, I would just see a rabbit in the yard, and the rabbit would just kind of like stay there. And I said, what the heck is going on? So I met with his office staff and his partner, his business partner, and I shared the story. And I said, you know, I think my brother is here with us, or I think like, because this rabbit won't leave. And it's like repeatedly every day I come out and a rabbit will sit in the yard and just sit there,
Right.
and it became a thing. Like my sister noticed it, my brother's dad. I mean, the whole thing. So I'm sharing this story with his office, and they said, "Well, that's amazing because we used to call him our wild hair." We actually have a painting on the wall of a rabbit, and we would say, "This is, your brother." And I said, "Oh my gosh, I never knew this." So fast forward, his business partner decided to open up a store in Maine called Wild Hair, and it's a jewelry store. And there's rabbits everywhere. And I've had the privilege. I went to Maine, and I went to visit the store and created a jewelry line in honor of my dear brother. It was written up in the local paper, and it was really cool. And a portion of the proceeds again go to my brother's favorite Make-A-Wish Foundation, and I just thought that was a beautiful thing, right? And it was like men's beaded bracelets. My brother was a huge supporter of me and my creative spirit, and it was just a huge honor. So for that, to know again that the jewelry is helping others in need. Make-A-Wish Foundation is a great foundation, and to see that lineage there. But as a child, again, my aunt would sit me down and share some of the stories from her travels all over the world. Hey, I went to Mexico and I got this, or I went to Dominican Republic and I got this amber or this Larimar, and how that shaped my childhood. Holding on to those stories. And for the customers today, I have really actually great customers that like repeatedly every time they see me, they've got all their stuff on, and I don't go anywhere, Nerissa, without this. They say you're in my home, you're in my, you're part of my day because I'm wearing your stuff every day, and if I don't wear it, I'm just not right. And that has been the hugest honor in all of this, to know that little old me, from the Bronx, the North Bronx, right?
Yes.
I've traveled, people buy my stuff in Nevis now in the Caribbean, and that's amazing. I'm in the city, I'm in different stores. I'm just so absolutely honored that they say it makes them feel.
Right, absolutely. So
isn't that the hugest honor, right?
That is the hugest honor. So
yes.
Night Watchman. Last time I checked it, because I wasn't keeping track of time. What is this?
Lightning round.
Oh shoot! Here it goes. What are the rules for the lightning round, Night Watchman?
Let's get it started. Come on, let's go.
So Shimoda, some closing thoughts. Tell us also where we might see some of your work, some of your jewelry. You are up. Go.
Okay, lightning round. My website is saharlem.com. SA stands for Shimoda Accessories. saharlem.com. And you'll see some of the things that I'm selling, my books. I also do books. I have a calendar for 2026. I have a journal. So I'm repurposing my art, because I also do fiber art, into other products.
Beautiful, beautiful. All right. Misha.
There, my Instagram, and my Facebook.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Shimoda. Go ahead. I may have cut you off. Go again.
Oh.
Have you finished?
Okay. Like I said, saharlem.com. That's my, yes.
Got you. All right. Next, Misha, go.
Hello. You can find me at omomisha.com, OMOMISHA.com, irwinhousegallery.org. Also on Instagram at Irwin House Gallery, IRWIN House Gallery, all one word, or omo.misha or Omo Misha Jewelry, and on Facebook, Irwin House Gallery again, and Omo Misha Institution on Facebook as well.
Beautiful, beautiful. And ladies and gentlemen, do not be surprised if you seem to be ghosted, but she will show up. All right. So Gary.
Yes. Okay. The website is HBCU, because we're giving back to the HBCUs. Amazing.com. And of course, we're coming from an educational component where we are going to just educate Black history through jewelry. And that's what we're about. And the Instagram is of course at HBCU Amazing. So now I don't know if there's a whole lot of things on the Instagram. We are in the middle of hiring a media manager, because we did hire a person to help us launch nationwide, but we're actually needing a media manager. So you can reach me at hbcuamazing.com. Take a look at everything, and then email is nycjconnection@yahoo.com.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you for that. Brother Slavery, you're up.
Hi, yes. Brother Slavery, and also the name means know your history, herstory, and never forget it. Just got to throw that in. You can find me across all platforms at canyouteachmeaboutcotton.com. It's all spelled out. Can you teach me about cotton on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube. Those are the main 4 that I'm on. So yeah, I'll be on there talking about cotton and rejoicing with the ancestors and cotton fields and all of that. So thank you.
Beautiful, beautiful. Nerissa.
I'm super simple. Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, SolArtsNYC. That's where I am. You can find me there.
Beautiful, beautiful. Night Watchman, you want to take us home, or you got something? Go ahead.
Well, the last thing, I'll just throw this up. Show up. Harlem Arts Alliance, Friday, September 19th, 10 a.m. at the Harlem School of the Arts. Be there or be left out.
Excellent. So, Night Watchman, you want to take us home?
We are on Soul Lounge Primetime, WHCR 90.3 FM, the voice of Harlem. Also live streaming on YouTube and Facebook. You can always find us on Monday evenings, 7 p.m. on the radio and 8 o'clock on YouTube and Facebook. Thank you for our guests today for joining us, sharing your experiences, your points of view, and your beautiful artwork.
Yes.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
What's Curtis going to ask? Ask the question. You know you're going to ask it.
Well, no, not yet. First of all, if you have not yet, please get your headshot and a brief bio. Now, of course, Misha, the one lucky point about you is that you have been on here before, so we have your image, no doubt. All right. But those who have not, please get it to Night Watchman as soon as possible, because he cuts me off at a certain point. Okay.
Okay. You could have waited till after we ended for that, but thank you.
Thank you, Night Watchman, DJ Leroy.
Send it to the email addresses. Don't use the link. Thank you. And last but not least, Night Watchman, will they all be invited back to the cookout?
All of them. I'm not sure about you, but I think we.
Okay. Wow. No, but by show of hands, how many of you?
Curtis tried to put raisins in the potato salads.
That's the naughty list. The naughty list.
He's on.
Y'all are cold. I don't like you anymore, Night Watchman.
Hey, man, you tried to put some Mr. T metal around my neck, so you know.
Okay, you avocado toast guy. You avocado toast guy. Yes. Anyway, all you were fantastic. Serious.
You're amazing. It is a pleasure meeting all of you, and I can't wait to cross paths with you. You're amazing.
Thank you. Honored to be with you guys.
And to all of you and to all of our listeners and watchers, have a happy holiday.
Happy holidays. Yes. Happy Kwanzaa. Merry Christmas. All of that.
All right. You got it.